Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the one and only Princess of Gospel, Lynn Brown. And thank you for tuning in to the PM show. And tonight, my special guest is none other than Mr. Forever himself, Micah Lee.
No pictures.
We're going to have a great show tonight. We're going to be talking about his new release, Forever. And he's had a couple of other hits that were out in the past, Victory, Run. And we're going to talk about all that great stuff tonight. And then, we're going to talk on the subject of what's been happening in the news lately. We had a situation that happened a couple of days ago where there was a killing in Orlando, Florida, mass murder situation going on, and they want to say it's terrorists and a whole lot of other things. And so we're going to just touch bases on that. And of course, we want to send our prayers out to Orlando, Florida. Welcome, Mr. Micah Lee. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
And I'm glad that you are here finally. I know it's so impromptu, but it's always a pleasure to be in your presence.
Anything for Princess.
Oh, right. Thank you. So we're just going to jump right into this.
Right.
The people want to know.
Okay. Oh, don't scare me. Hold on. Here we go. I have to press
countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7. Here we go. The people want to know, who is Mr. Micah Lee?
Wow. Now,
where he come from? Because out of nowhere, it's just like you just taking the scene by force. Okay. So they want to know who you are.
Okay. Well, where do I come from? Well, first thing, I didn't just pop on the scene. That's the thing about music. The minute you have a hit, it seems like you just popped up from out of nowhere.
Right.
But people don't understand that it is really a constant grind. I've been doing this since I was 17 years old. I'm probably singing way before that.
Okay, so let me ask the big question.
Yeah.
How old?
I'm a fine 32.
Excuse me, what? Oh, he fine, y'all. Y'all heard that?
No, and it's a long time. And I think that's what people really need to understand.
Okay.
That it's not always a quick thing. It doesn't just happen like that. It is a process. It is a constant grind. It's a journey. And if you really want to win, you have to take that journey. You really do. You have to follow the steps. Your steps are ordered by God, and He has a plan for you in your life. And I see this picture that floats around on like Facebook, and you'll see somebody with they're digging underground,
right? And
they keep digging this hole, and then right when they're less than an inch away from it, one more hit, the diamonds are right behind it. And they stop. So if you want to reach it, you just have to keep going, keep putting it out there. And Lynn, you've been along with this journey a long time.
Yes, I have, from day one when we first met so many years ago. We had a conversation, and I told you, I said, you have what it takes. And so now here we are today, just enjoying this moment and basking in the ambiance of it, that you're finally arriving to that point where people are recognizing who you are. Let's talk about how the journey began. I know you started singing at 17, but in our conversations that we've had, one of the things that we've talked about, that you had an accident while you were in college.
Yeah, absolutely. What actually happened, prior to that even, the whole singing thing started with my grandmother.
Okay.
She was one of those ones, and I love her so much. She's gone home to be with the Lord.
Right.
But she instilled in us, and it actually happened. We had a group. The funny thing is, my sister and my cousin were the lead singers in the group. I just filled in the back. Now, if you asked them today to sing a note, they couldn't put two of them together.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's the irony of it. But she saw something in us, and I remember how she would just push us out there. She pushed me out there, especially.
Right.
I remember I went to her church, and it was family and friends, and she said, as soon as I walked in, it was like, "There's Mother Lee's grandson. We're gonna have him come up in his own way." And I'll never forget, I sung this old song called "Life Is a Ball Game." It was terrible.
Oh my God! No, you didn't.
It was, well, let me tell you, my parents had the tape. It was back in that day. It was a tape.
You gotta get a copy of that.
It was a tape called "Life Is." I don't remember who it was.
Get a copy of that.
And that was a song I used to hear every day. Life is a ball game being played each day. I used to hear that joint over and over and over. So that was the first thing that came to mind. So I started singing it. And my grandmother, she did one of these. Let me tell you how you know you're doing bad. When people in the audience is like, that's all right. We with you, keep going. But my grandmother did one of these. And looked to the sides. Just stop looking at me. So I knew it was bad.
It's like, boy, if you don't sit down.
And that's exactly, she said to me afterwards, she was like, boy, don't you ever make me shame like that again. She didn't say ashamed. She said shame. Like this, with a drop. Shame. and I look at that, it still plays in my mind to this day.
That every time you perform.
Yeah, some people think that's harsh.
Right.
But I don't. It actually helps me.
Right. It's perfect criticism. And, there's good criticism and there's bad criticism.
Absolutely.
And what I find is that a lot of times people are afraid of that negative criticism, but it's not being negative. It's just the fact that you need to be corrected. And they take it the wrong way when you're trying to correct them.
Absolutely.
So we need to work on that. We need to, let people know that sometimes you are just not, you don't have what it takes, or you need to go
you need to get it right. You need to get it.
Because I know a couple of people, that's a part of our organization that we are, and when they perform,
don't do it. Don't do it.
I ain't gonna call it names. I promise I won't call it names. But all I'm saying is that, I know it is my job as the president of the Broward Gospel Announcers Guild, which is a part of the Florida Gospel Announcers Guild. We're just one of many chapters, but one of the things I find is I know that I'm supposed to be giving positive criticism, but some people you just can't. You try to tell them, but they can't handle it, and they think that they know they got it all together.
Then
and
why aren't you making it? Why aren't you making it? Why aren't you at that place? I've come to learn this. You can never be too old to learn.
No, never.
I am constantly learning something about this business every day.
There's always something to be learned. There's a saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But guess what? If that dog get hungry enough, he'd be willing to learn some new tricks.
And anybody who wants to do this, you need to educate yourself, because this business is tricky and it consistently is changing.
Yes.
It changes so periodically. Even right now.
As we're speaking,
it's changing.
Just something has changed dramatically.
Just last week, you and I were talking about. I tagged you in it.
Yes.
With the current state of gospel music.
Exactly. How where all you need is about 1,800 units to be number one.
The current number one slot has only sold 1,800 units,
and that's sad.
And the top 50 combined was less than 16,000.
Exactly.
I mean, that's nothing. That's it. The gospel music industry has always been a niche market.
Right.
But literally, these people are selling nothing. And, that's not to take away from these artists who earned their positions.
Right, the old school.
But something has to change, or, it's really dying on the business side.
Well, what is happening is technology has come in. And so everybody figures that, I can have a studio in my home. I got a studio in my closet. Right. I have a studio in my bathroom.
Now listen, I'm not opposed to closet studios. Let me tell you, those got the best sounds.
Look, but what I'm saying is that's the problem, is that everybody has a studio.
Well, I think it's also, the fact that social media is a great thing, but it's also
a bad thing.
It used to be back in a certain time frame ago where a superstar there was a certain mystique about them.
Right.
Things that we did not know. So you ever look at people like, I'm just say the one, what's the one big star? I don't want to just call her name. Can we do that?
Well,
the butterfly. If you put it together,
yes,
the one that's known as the butterfly. She, at a certain time, had such a huge, and she still is huge. Don't get me wrong, she's a legend. But now you can see in people's lives, and it takes away from the the grandeur of a celebrity.
Or of what a celebrity is. Because now everybody you could be a Facebook celebrity and have no money behind you, but the fact is that everybody knows who you are on Facebook because of, you can say one quote and then you got 1,000 followers, and then from 1,000 you got 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, and that's the whole thing. So what we got to look at is like, how serious do we take social media?
Sure.
Is social media good for us, or do you know how to take advantage of social media to make it work for you and to get people to download your music? I think the game changed when there was this rap artist, and what he did was he took from the church and applied from the church what was used in the church and took it to the secular community. Everywhere he went, he would say, "Can I get a donation?" And that's how he began to sell units, and then became an overnight success and became a millionaire. So what we have is that if this one secular artist can become an overnight success and become a millionaire, how come we, the church, don't know how to do that?
A lot of people they don't apply these certain things. I think preparation is key for everything.
Right.
And so that's why I say, I've been preparing this before I had a platform that I have now, before I had the 20,000 people who follow me on Instagram, and the 40,000 on Twitter, whatever, however many it is. You know, before those people were in place, you have to prepare yourself with a certain mindset. You just posed a question with how do you handle that with social media, is it a good thing or bad thing? You know, you remember what, last year, 2 years ago now, I had a clip that went viral. So that's how I really got out there, but people don't remember that anymore because
it's forever.
It's, you know, but even in that, the whole thing was, here it is, this guy is doing something that's different than what is norm in gospel music. Within one day, the negative, another 100,000 know you in one day, and they are bashing you to the end of days. But you have to be able to use that stuff. Preparation.
Yes, you use it. You take the bad and make it your good, because guess what? Even the negative comments will actually take you higher than the positive comments. And so, because what it does is that people are like, oh, he bad? No. But then what it does is it makes somebody else who thinks that you're bad take a look at what you're doing, and then they really realize that you are good at what you do.
And that's what happened. These people went, all of a sudden, all of my YouTube numbers went through the roof. All of my iTunes sales went through the roof because people went to investigating, well, who is he? And when they went to doing that investigation, they were like, wow, oh, he's good. He's good at this. Okay. So God turns that thing around, turned that whole thing around for my good. Completely turned that thing around.
And he can do it, as they say, won't he do it?
Won't he will? Really
Yes.
I mean, completely did it. And, you know, just going back, you know, you were talking about what really got me started in this whole thing, just getting back to it, other than just my grandmother pushing me out there. You were talking about the car accident. That car accident, I'm just surprised, and I'm not surprised, but I'm honored in the retrospect, because while you're going through it, you're hurt, you're not thinking about it. But God has used my life experiences to help, in some capacity, others, to give people hope that you still can make it, even in the midst of trials. What happened was, and it was way back in 2005, I was coming home from school, driving home, and my SUV had hydroplaned. It was raining really bad, and it hit the median head on.
Oh my God.
When it hit the median head on, my car didn't stop there. It rolled all the way across the highway on I-95 into a canal. And because it was raining so hard, the canal was filled with water. The water, it began to rise all the way up to right above my nose. And I picked up my phone and I called my mother. And I said, Mom, I think I'm going to die. I think this is it for me. Just know that I love you. And I'm sorry for anything that I've done wrong in the past. And she was like, Micah, where are you? Hold on, just have faith. And then the phone died from like waterlogged. And I began to just say my prayers, coming to grips with this is the end for me. And some kind of way, I was able to kick out the window. And I swam out. And when I swam out, I'm an optimistic person. I'm looking at the car. I said, it's just a car. I got insurance. I'm alive. But then I look down and I see both of my legs are floating on top of the water. I said, okay, maybe they're just out of socket. So I looked and I could see my actual heel. I hope that's not too graphic. I could see my heel. And I said, no, it's not supposed to be placed that way. Maybe they just gonna pop it back in the socket. And then I touched my femurs, touched my thighs, and it sounded like that glass of water right there. If you shake it with ice in it, it's gonna make a crackling sound. So I knew it was some damage. I fainted, and next thing I know, I was in the hospital, and I'm hearing them say they're going to amputate my legs.
Oh my God.
Next thing you know, I'm in intensive care, and I'm waking up, and I'm looking, and both of my legs are still attached. But they're saying to me, he will never walk again. Still, we saved your legs, you know, and it's all mechanical all through, but you will never ever walk again. That's it for you. And that was just a terrible time for me. I had a temperature of like 105. I had to have 8 blood transfusions because of all the blood that I lost. And I had about 4 blood clots.
Jesus.
So it was an extensive time. And every night I would just hurt and cry. I think the nights were the worst because you're all alone in those spaces. And a lot of times, you know, we can get into a deeper thing, you know, men, especially black men, you hate to admit that you're hurting.
Exactly.
And that you feel this depression that you're all alone. But I was in a state of depression and not even realizing it. And,
so let me just ask you this. With all of that being said, and you know that you were alone, let's get to the point of what was your turning point? Absolutely.
My healing started to take place. I'll never forget this one in particular night. I had been in the hospital for about a month. And the nurse came in and he was speaking to me and saw me crying. And I tried to clean it up real fast. He was like, why are you crying? He was like, the man in the room to the left of you, he just had a newborn baby and he was in the same kind of accident. He's paralyzed from the neck down. The guy in the room to the right of you, he lost all of his limbs. He's just a torso. You have all of your limbs and one day you just might get better. I couldn't see that though. So I started watching TV, and just right then, some kind of way, my television was on TBN, and CeCe Winans was on, and she pointed, she said, I don't know who this is for, but I hear God speaking to me. Just remember that he's concerned about you.
Oh my God, that's touching.
The minute she said that, I looked up and I could see the air vent in the room. And it was a cloud of smoke that entered into the room. And I'm looking at this, I said, is there a fire? What is all of this? And I immediately felt a sense of comfort. And you know how a mother picks up their newborn baby when they're crying and rocks them and comforts them?
Yes.
I literally felt the Lord embrace me and comfort me like a child. And while this was happening, I was like, am I hallucinating? What's happening? I was like, God, all these billions of people in this world, you have time to come see about me.
And of course he does.
And that was my first real experience with Christ. You know, I already professed being saved,
but you actually had that experience. So coming out of that experience and segueing into Micah becoming the singer, the serious singer now. What took you there?
Well, what took me there was, you know, just in brief, I was in that wheelchair. And I think I had to go through a season of, although my healing started to take place and I started to stabilize, I went through this season in this wheelchair for over a year where I couldn't do anything on my own, and I totally had given up on the singing part. And I think I had to go through that for a couple of reasons. I had to be humbled, number one, so I could be used.
Humility is key to everything.
And number two, I think he allowed me to go through that process, so for sure I knew it couldn't be anybody but him who brought me out. So I was in church one day, and that's the first time my parents had got me out of the house because I was embarrassed. I'm like, how can I be a singer? They called me up. They said, we want Micah to come and sing. And I was like, I can't go up there. But they forced me, and I wheeled up there. I started singing, and I remember looking out the window, and the sun was shining, and in my right ear, I'll never forget this moment, I could hear the Lord say, "Today's the day."
Oh my God.
Within 1 second, He let me know He's that powerful. When He's ready to do it, He'll do it.
Exactly. And that's what we need to realize, that when He's ready to do it. But you got to have the mindset to be ready for when He's going to do it.
That's right. When He's ready, I call it my Benny Hinn moment, my miracle moment. Literally, I felt my legs heat up.
No, I'm just joking.
He really did. I felt my legs heat up and they straighten up. Mm-hmm. And I just started taking off walking. I was running.
Oh my God.
I stood up and I was running, and I forgot all about the song. I'm just like, I can walk. My dad was there. He was like, listen, your big self, you better not fall. But, and I'm not picking you up. But from that moment, I knew God was God, and He can do anything. But it let me know, Micah, life is short. Mm-hmm. And if you want to do this, you want to do something, now's the time. You go forward and do it. And it seems like that my anointing, my writing skills, my voice, God doesn't just anoint one part of you. He anoints it all.
Everything. He will give you multiple gifts. But let me just tell you what's ringing in my head right now as you were just giving your testimony about singing. Because what I was going to ask you was, what song were you singing? But instead of asking you, I'm going to ask you to do something else. And I just want you to give a little snippet of this one particular song. "'Tis So Sweet."
Oh, well, look, that's it. I can do a hymn. Listen, I love people who don't.
So, because as you were giving your testimony, that's what I was hearing. Mm-hmm. That as you talk about who God is and what He can do for you in the blink of an eye, and in that moment, that no matter how we look at Him, He is so sweet to us. He's good to us. And we keep forgetting about the fact that He loves us and that He cares for each and every one of us, regardless of who we are, what we do, what life choices we choose, or what decisions we make in our life. So can you I want to sing this for the people in Orlando.
Okay.
Go ahead and give it.
All right. My favorite hymn, too.
Yes, I know.
It says, "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus. Says just to take God at His word. Just to rest upon God's promise. And just to know thus saith the Lord. So Jesus, yes, how I trust Him. Oh, how I prove in you more and more. So Jesus, my precious Jesus, says, oh, for grace to trust Him more. I thank Him for the grace to trust Him more. I thank You for the grace to trust You more. See, I get excited thinking about
yes.
that.
See, this is what, I hope this was able to reach somebody and to touch somebody. I want, this is not the Benny Hinn Show.
No.
Definitely not the Benny Hinn Show. But I want people to know that whoever you are out there in that listening audience, that I need you to take Jesus at His word. This is a talk show, and we talk about everything that's in the Christian community. This is, of course, a gospel gossip format. If you're doing it, we're going to talk about it. If you say it, we're going to talk about it. And of course, me being the princess, I mince and hold back no words. But you got to trust in Jesus and know that He is who He is, and that He is the sweetest thing I know. And I hope He can be the same for you. So at this moment, what we're going to do, because we got to pay some bills, around here, Micah. So we're going to take a station break, and we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Pastor Shirley Caesar, and you are watching Must Grow Music Gospel Corner.
I'm Bobby Jones, and you're watching Must Grow Music Gospel Corner.
Must Grow Music.
Are you tired of failed attempts at dieting? Don't you wish you had more energy? Are aches and pains slowing you down? Now is the time to give Nuscentia a try. Nuscentia products are made from natural ingredients formulated to heal the body from inside out. Our products are held to the highest standards of quality and provide 100% daily vitamins and nutriments for all. Go ahead now to turn back that aging clock. Try New Essentials today. Brenda Solomon, New Essential representative and success story.
Here at Reggae Land Music, we carry the latest releases from indie artists such as Daniel Musgrove.
The greatest story that was ever told over 2,000 years ago.
We stock the latest reggae, gospel reggae, and more. Hard to find vinyl, Studio One, Treasure Isle, etc. You can find us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and you can make your purchases at reggaelandmusic.com. You can also call us at 954-987-7779. Reggae Land Music, the place you want to be, baby.
And we're back. We're back with Mr. Micah Lee. You know,
Yes.
It is such a pleasure to have you here. Micah, I want to ask you about this new hit song.
Oh.
The title of the song is called Forever, and you know, it has gone viral. And you know, my granddaughter goes through the house singing "Forever,
Save my soul,
forever,
said it made me whole.
forever." And you know, that's you know, it's like, Grandma, play that song, or she'll grab my phone and go straight to your video.
Wow.
But what made you write that song? What was the thing that stirred you up to say forever?
Okay, I want to tell you that it was a big, deep thing. Now, I've been in writing sessions, Lynn, where I will have to go deep and spend hours and hours coming up with it. And I'm such a structured person where I'm like, everything needs a introduction, a body, a conclusion. You know what? We were in the studio, and it just popped in my head. That hook, forever, to save my soul. So I said, certain things are, when it's meant by God,
He will reveal it to you.
He'll just give it to you. It doesn't have to take all that. It literally was done. It was so easy because it was from Him. It was done in 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
And that's the thing about God. Whenever He does something, it is easy.
It's easy.
It's always easy. Well, where can people go to purchase your music?
Absolutely. Listen, people.
Shameless plug.
Listen. I'm not ashamed about it. I'm going to plug it.
Plug
Listen,
it.
Forever is available right now. It is featuring, of course, myself and the national gospel rap recording artist, The Truth. Listen, it is a banger. Everybody rides in the car, jams to the song.
Drop top bag.
Wherever you at. This
Ride down
one
the
is one
beach.
that you need to go and get. You can go on iTunes or any of your digital music stores right now. What you waiting on? And go and download Forever. It's real simple. Again, my name is Micah Lee, M-I-C-A-H. Just like the prophet, the book of the Bible, you can't miss it. Open up your word. You'll see it there. My name is Micah Lee, and the song is called Forever, featuring The Truth. It's definitely one you want to add to your collection. And you guys can also follow me on any of my social sites. Of course, on my favorite, which is Instagram. You can always see me whatever I'm doing. As a matter of fact,
going to the gym.
I'll see wherever I'm at. I'm taking my lunch. If you want to know my business, follow me on Instagram, which is at Micah's Music. That's M-I-C-A-H-S Music. You can follow me on Facebook on my regular page. Of course, just look up Micah Lee. Mm-hmm. You'll see these white teeth. On there. Shameless plug. You can follow me on my fan page, which is the award-winning vocalist Micah the Voice Lee. Please go and like that. On Twitter, it's at Micah Lee Music, all one word, M-I-C-A-H-L-E-E Music. What site am I missing?
I don't know. I think you
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Link. Do you have a LinkedIn?
I got everything. Everything is under my name. And listen,
just type
if you want me to come to your churches, your events, now this is the shameless plug. Listen, yes. I want to sing for y'all. So if you want me to do a song and dance, book me. Listen, just go to my website, and just explore it. It's a wonderful website. It's www.micahleemusic.com. That's MICAHLEE music.com. And I'll be glad to come to your events, whatever you want me to come to.
All right. Well, Micah, we're coming to a close, and I want to thank you for taking the opportunity to come out and just sit and chat with me. You're quite welcome. And I want the people to, I'm glad they're going to have the opportunity to get to know who you are. And I'm going to wrap this up, and we're going to close out and call it a night. But as the princess always says, peace, love, hair grease with a perm. I love you for free, and stay jelly bean happy.